Hey, welcome back to One Car Garage, video number 2. So if you made the first episode, welcome back to the second episode. If you didn't make the first episode, this is One Car Garage. My name is Mark, and this is my 1962 Ford Falcon that I'm doing a revival of. So on my first video, I announced a giveaway. This is the second video, and I've actually added more to the giveaway box. You have to stay tuned to the end of the video to see what you got to do to qualify to be in the running or to get your name in the hat for the drawing for the giveaway prize. And it's a prize I'd like to win, I can tell you that. So, but welcome to One Car Garage, the revival of the 62 Falcon, and we are sure glad you're here. I thank you for your support, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, welcome back to One Car Garage, where we're burning rubber and smoking meat. And I've got a bunch of wild dogs right here in front of me. Hey, we picked up 3 racks of baby backs this morning. We're going to be using that Brother Kent Rollins rib rub. We're going to get the smoker fired up here in just a second. Somebody asked me, said, hey man, when you're smoking, I know in the last video you might have saw me add the charcoal. This little cooker I use does use charcoal as its primary fire source, or its only fire source, but I do use wood. Somebody said, well, I didn't see you put any wood in there. I do use wood when when I'm doing ribs. I normally am either going to use apple or peach. I don't jack with hickory much. It's real stout, you know, but I like apple and I like peach. So that's typically what we're going to use on that. But get a little smoke running across some ribs this morning. Don't know what all we're going to get into today on the Falcon. Might go ahead and put the master cylinder on and kind of get ready to start the brake overhaul on this deal. I know for a fact we're going to have to make some new brake lines, and I've got a real cool new flaring tool that new to me, and we'll be using it to make some new lines. And so probably we'll get into a transmission filter change and fluid change, that kind of deal. Of course, the initial goal on the Falcon was to see it run, drive, and stop. And of course, we've seen it run. I've driven it around my yard here. And but we do need to see it stop. So, but first thing on the agenda and priority number 1 is let's get this smoker going. We're gonna run these ribs. I think today we're gonna run them at 275 for 4 hours. So let's get that going, and I'll be right back with you. I want to show y'all something. This is something that's cool about these little smokers. You know, in the last video you saw me use 1 chimney of charcoal, and that's all I used, and did that entire cook, 2 racks of ribs. And that's still all left. So that's probably enough. I mean, I'm going to add another chimney in there, but I mean, I could probably scoop all that up, reignite that, and get a whole nother cook out of it. So if you haven't looked into these little cookers, they're Chargriller Akorn is what they are. And I've really had some good luck with this thing. There is a learning curve with it, and it's not huge. But for a patio smoker, man, I've run a lot of meat across this thing. So that's what I'm using. Of course, Kingsford Charcoal. It's got Ford in the name, so of course I've got to use that. But anyway, let's get this thing rolling. All right, what we've decided we're going to do, I'm going to get in here. I want to fine tune some of this timing. Something I wanted to show you guys. This is called a distributor wrench. And I know there's some of you going, well, yeah, no joke. But guys, I bought that 5 or 6 months ago, and I'm not knocking anybody. The kid at the parts store did not know what a distributor wrench was. So it's a distributor wrench. It's, you know, it's angled so it gets down. You can turn the bolt. It's what it is. All right, so we're going to unhook the vacuum line and get the distributor where we can turn it. We're going to plug the vacuum advance off. We're going to do that. We're going to see if we can get this thing timed. It's running pretty good, but I want to just really kind of try to fine tune it just a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. Guys, I don't think we got to mess with the timing. This thing looks like it's dead on the money here. Let me get it fired up. I'm going to see if it'll pick up on camera or not. That's a pretty good indication when it just pops right off like that. Let me get this timing light turned on and see if y'all can see anything. We're running between 10 and, 10 and 12 degrees timing, and it's just sitting there. I'm not going to mess with that. That's running way too good to be trying to mess with something. So that is with the vacuum unhooked. It gets a little stumble with the vacuum hook. So we're gonna play with that a little bit too. Let me show you something. And I think I got a pretty good idea of what we got going on here. Let me show you. Folks, what you just saw was water vapor. That is not burning oil. Maybe if you had smell-o-vision, I could show it to you a little bit better. That's water vapor. That's a blown head gasket's what that is. So, you know, am I overly concerned about that? Not really. That's not going to be that difficult of a swap. Here's the problem. The head gasket, you're going to want to set an ARP head bolt. If you're in there, you might as well put in new lifters. What do the push rods look like? I mean, you know, so you start adding some expense to this thing. Right now, I wanted to see it run, drive, and stop. We're running. We can drive. Let's get it stopping. Let's stay with the plan we had. Do the brakes, do the floors. But let's just know that we're likely going to have to, well, we're going to have to put in a head gasket. But we have to decide where we want to go with that. What we found out just now is by seeing this, that little stumble that, you know, I can't tune out with the distributor or the carburetor. The thing is timed perfectly. The carburetor is set just perfectly. That little stumble and all that water vapor you're seeing is head gasket. I'm not going to run it any more than I have to. These little engines are fairly tough, but we're not going to put it through any more than it has to go through. So head gasket is in the future. How much more we're going to do engine work wise, yet to be determined. And for today's cook, we're using Cowboy brand hardwood briquettes. I've never used those before. Picked them up this morning just to try them out. Maybe you've used them, I don't know, but I've never used those. It's hardwood briquettes, wood smoke flavor of lump, and the ease of the briquette. Of course, I'm using my normal applewood chunks. You can get those at Walmart or Tractor Supply or anywhere. Picked up this rub, Cherry Cola barbecue rub. I've used some of the Fire and Smoke Society stuff. You know, it'll be all right. We're doing boneless chicken thighs, good cut of meat, but we'll see how this comes out. Now, one of the things I've been needing to get done on this car is I had to rebuild a wiring harness because we removed the generator and put in the alternator. And so, you know, we redid a lot of new wires. Well, I just didn't want to really use any of the old wires. So that needs to get put into a loom, though, or conduit. So I picked up this Dorman conduit. I believe a 3/4 inch will fit what we're doing here. And clean that up. I need to take a look at that battery tray over there. It's pretty rough looking. See about maybe taking it out, shoring it up some, painting it. And then the other thing I'd like to do is get the gas lines. You know, we're using all Earl's plumbing in here. But right now I'm running off of a lawnmower tank, and I need to take a look at the inside of this tank and see how absolutely filthy it is, and see if I can get something a little bit more permanent going on with the oil, with the fuel lines. So first thing we're going to do is wrap this wiring harness though and clean it up and get it looking a lot better. All right, I'm gonna get in here and clean this whole battery tray up a little bit. I could take it out, and we may, but first thing I'm gonna do is wire brush this thing. We'll hit that with some compressed air in a minute. Got way too much wire, a couple different places here. And although I hate to have to splice into it, we need to clean these wires up before we go to putting in the wire loom. So we're going to work on that. Take out 12 inches of wire. I got an idea. Well, I was going to replace that battery or remove the battery tray, but I decided against it. We're just going to end up replacing it, so it's not really in my way too bad right now, so we'll go from there. All right, I'm going to get back to wrapping this. We'll put it in the loom and route it. That looks a whole lot cleaner. I mean, that's a lot better than just plain old wires. Now I've got something else I'm going to work on here. Probably going to change this. I don't like these type of ends, and that looks ratty and old and everything else. This is a good cable. Don't have to change it out, but I like to put a gold-plated cable on there. And we're going to do that just to clean things up. All right, we got the battery back in here so we can test fit where these wires need to go. Did I put an Earl's Plumbing sticker on my battery? Yes. Why? Because I wanted to. Am I going to use Walmart gold terminals on the end of my batteries? Yes. Why? Because I want to. So anyway, this is what we're going to put in. As you can see, this is way long, and we're going to come in with something more like that. So let me do that and be right back. To me, that just looks a lot cleaner. We got the wiring harness in, we've got the battery cable ends on. They look clean, they're nice and snug, they're there. That battery tray does need replacing. I mean, it's there, but we're going to have to do something with it. Like I say, we need to get some grommets for a couple of these different places where the wires go through, clean up. But I think now what we're going to do is probably, I want to look in this tank and see how bad it is and see if we can maybe work on getting some of these fuel lines. I've got quite a few of and the reason I even have the Earl's Performance Plumbing sticker, I have a ton of Earl's Performance plumbing fittings, the AN fittings that are going on this car. And so I think we're going to try to see about getting those installed and get that all plumbed in and cleaned up looking. All right, we got a Wicks filter in here. Yeah, I know, I'm not altogether a big fan of putting one of those plastic filters in, but guys, we haven't ran any fuel through this tank at all. So we've got to have a filter in there. I've got an Earl's plumbing filter that goes in between the pump and the carburetor, but I need to keep as much trash out of the pump as possible and the carburetor. So anyway, we've got it plumbed to the line that goes to the tank, and that's all Earl's Vapor Guard hose. Those aren't Earl's Vapor Guard hose clamps on there, but I do have plenty of those, and we can swap them out. We will swap that out for a solid line eventually. So, okay, let's move on to the plumbing. Okay, so from the factory, the fuel line came from over by the fuel pump, and it ran parallel with this vacuum advance line. I have obviously went with Earl's Vapor Guard, which is going to be rubber, but I do have a reason to follow this, because I would have something to zip tie right here, and I've got a fuel pressure gauge that we're going to put on it. Not that I need it right now, but I went ahead and got it, and I'll install it that way. If later I need to put in a regulator, and I'm thinking about putting in an electric fuel pump, I already have that done. So we're going to unhook right here. All right, we're going to install the Earl's filter, and I'm going to mark it where I want to put it. And we're going to cut a section out and put it in. All right, there's our filter installed. Now we want to get in the gauge, the pressure gauge. But we're going to install this Earl's pressure gauge right here, because it'll be a little more, I'll have something to zip tie to and hold it kind of rigid. And then later, if we want to put in a regulator, which we will, if we end up going to a electric fuel pump, then we've already got our gauge installed. Same deal here. We want to mark where we want to put it. Move a couple of zip ties that I've already put in place, but no problem there. I've got tons of those. Sorry to shake y'all around like that. Okay. All right, now we got to make a connection here, and that looks about right there. I don't want to have it too sharp of a turn, so we're going to go right there. I am putting twin clamps on right there because I want to make sure that fit does not loosen up. All right, this looks pretty good. Earl's filter. We came right along in here. We're going to add a few more zip ties in. We got the Earl's pressure gauge, and we come around and we hook to the carburetor right there. So that's all Earl's Vapor Guard 5/16 hose. Supposed to be better than rubber. Supposed to prevent vapor loss, or it says virtually eliminates all gas vapor. So, all right, we're going to roll the dice, put a little gas in the tank, and see if it cranks over. All right, are we going to be rebuilding a carburetor? We've got everything hooked up, got all our filters in place. We've added about 3 or 4 gallons of gas. There we go. All my fuel lines are in. I don't see any of them leaking. We're running off of the tank, so no more lawnmower tank. We can fine tune on this thing a little bit later, but let's check this chicken. Oh yeah, she's done. They're good and done. That's gonna be good. So we're gonna pull them. We're gonna fix some sides and eat dinner. Needs a front end under it. Bad. Needs brakes, even worse. Well, in case you're ever wondering, the cheapest gauge set available through eBay looks like this. Bare bones little basic deal. I'm not a big fan of these to begin with because they have been known to leak inside your cabin of your vehicle and everything else. But for what we got, and $24 later or something like that, we're going to probably put it in. I don't know that it'll stay forever, but we're going to put it in for now. Well, good morning. Worked on the car yesterday, hooked up the oil pressure gauge. We're going to hook up the water temperature gauge this morning and the voltage regulator, a little cheap set of gauges that I showed you. Reading about 40 psi of oil pressure. And when I first saw that, I was a little concerned. However, I looked up the spec last night, and it says that 40 psi is in the good range. So, but got another issue that I'm pretty sure we're dealing with here. I've got my favorite cup of coffee going on. Pretty sure we've got a vacuum leak. And I was thinking, you know, there's not much vacuum on this little car. I've done away with the capability to run the wipers off vacuum, which is how these cars, this particular car came from the factory. I'm going to convert it all to electric. But, and I've checked already, took carb cleaner and sprayed around the base and all up and down the intake and everything, you know, everywhere. And there's no vacuum leaks anywhere. But I kept thinking, you know, it's got this mist like it's, and you can't tune the carburetor much. Man, it's got a vacuum leak. I bet you the vacuum advanced diaphragm is bad. So we're going to unconnect it from the base of the carburetor and pull vacuum via my lungs and check and see. But I bet that's what we're dealing with. So we're going to do that this morning. We'll find out and we'll see what we got. I swore when I put this on, I didn't want to have to take it back off. But, all right, we're going to check this. We're going to pop the distributor cap off so we can watch that diaphragm and just see, you know, if it moves. All right, you know, it should move. You should see it. Vacuum is what moves this, and I don't believe that it is. Okay. It is moving. Is it holding pressure? That's the question. I'm not convinced that's good. I'm just not. All right, so I think what we got going on, I think it's got a small vacuum leak because it won't hold. I mean, I can get it to move, but it won't hold completely. We're going to replace that just for good measure. I mean, I don't know if that part's 5 years old or 50 years old. So got a feeling it's been replaced, but we're going to replace it. Right or wrong, indifferent, I'm replacing. All right, on the little cheap aftermarket gauge set I got, the water sending unit or the temperature gauge sending unit looks like this. This is way too big for what I've got. Well, let me just show you. Hey, Dixie. Well, I may not be able to show you, but it's way too small on the factory. So what I'm going to try to do, and again, right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm going to try to splice in to that connector to the little cheap unit and see if I can make connection that way. I mean, if not, all I got to do is wire it back together. So it's not the end of the world, but we're going to give it a shot. Now, and again, is it going to work? I don't really know. I don't know why it wouldn't. We're going to try it. I mean, I would think it would. Yeah, let me get a connector. I don't believe the temperature sending unit is any good. I don't know. We're going to sit here and let it idle for a while to where we know it should be at operating temperature. All right. The temperature gauge did not work. I think we may be dealing with the sending unit not working. But I want to check this oil. This thing's been sitting there idling for about 10 minutes. And I'm looking for indications I'm looking for indications of water in the oil. I'm going to get this in here so you can see just ever so bit, this little bit of milkiness, this little bit of milk right there on the dipstick. Again, indicative of a blown head gasket, probably accounting for that stumble that we're seeing. So that said, let's get ready to move on to brakes. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a whole lot done this morning. I've got a meeting I've got to be at, which is going to require me to go to work a little earlier than normal. You know, life gets in the way, life happens. But I do want to put in this new vacuum advanced diaphragm I picked up. I don't think it's causing us a huge problem. I did I did a vacuum test on it yesterday via my lung power, and it would actuate, but it would not hold. And so I don't know that it's at all one of our problems. And this may be where part of my ignorance shows, but I do know the car idles a whole lot better when it's not hooked up, when the vacuum advance is not hooked up. And you may be sitting there going, well, of course, and duh, and all, but I don't know. All I can tell you is it's at idles, which leads me to think that maybe the diaphragm is bleeding off. I don't know. We're gonna swap it out though. It's an old car, and there's going to be a lot of parts on here that, I don't know how old they are. I don't know if this is original. I don't know if it's been swapped out 5 years ago. I have no clue. So we're going to swap it out and see if it makes a difference. That wind is flat getting it this morning. It's cold out here. Not my favorite kind of weather at all. I'm ready for it to warm up and stay warm. First thing we're going to do, though, is unhook this vacuum advance line. Get in here, and not much to changing one of these out. Just unhook the line, 2 little screws, and 1 little E-clip, which mine doesn't have an E-clip. It's got a Carter key or something holding it in, but not a whole lot to it, but we'll do it real quick. As I say, I don't have a lot of time this morning before I've got to be at a training session, and that's what pays the bills. All right, there's that. Pop off the distributor cap. Get it up out of our way. Go ahead and loosen these, take these screws out. All right, I want to get a magnet because that little clip, if we drop that, we're not finding it. So I'm getting a magnet. I'll show you what I mean here. This little clip is tiny. You see how small that is? That's, for a frame of reference, that's, I don't know, like a little over 1/4 of an inch long. It's tiny. All right, let's swap this thing out. All we're going to do is push down on this little tab. And out she comes. Oh, yeah. I really feel like that's bad. Because in comparison to the new one, I can even hear it. That's bad. Okay, good. Okay, this is the part we went with from O'Reilly's. It's a standard VC12 part number, in case you're working on the same setup. Replacement unit. Does the same thing. Let me get the side by side. Now this one, I'm not hearing any vacuum or any suction, I guess you'd call it. This one, I am. It's much firmer. That's just loose. I don't know that that's indicative of a bad diaphragm. I'm going to say it is. Let's put it back in. You know, some days you use every tool in your arsenal. That's a paint can opener. And it worked perfect to pull that up and hold that in place. Now, we got to get this little pin back in place, and that's liable to be a chore. Well, my SD card ran out on me about the time I was getting that little pin in. So let me show y'all something. And I don't know if it picks up on camera, but on the very end of this shaft, there is a tiny, tiny little hole. And you have to get down in your distributor and work that little clip in through that hole. And how I got it done is nothing short of a miracle. We're going to button this thing back up, get it put back together. I about did that again. I don't know why I want to put that in upside down every single time. Okay. Tighten this little jewel up. Okay. All right. Let's fire this little thing up here. Well, there you have it. Vacuum advanced diaphragm replaced. Did it make any difference? I don't know. It's so cold natured, and it's cold out here this morning. But I'm going to go ahead and let you know I did order a head gasket. I ordered a water pump. What else did I order? Head gasket, water pump, and with the head gasket came the new valve guide seals and everything. Let me show you why. You can see all this water vapor just pouring off of here, and a little bit of rough idle. Now, some of that rough idle is going to be attributed to it's cold, and it wants to have a little bit of choke when it sits there and idles. But yeah, we're going to replace the head gasket on this thing. Don't know if we're going to do that on this video because I'm still getting into brakes. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but we are running, we are driving. So before we go headlong into replacing the head gasket, because that could turn into a rebuild, let's hope it doesn't. I want to make sure that we don't have major transmission problems. I want to make sure that we got brakes taken care of, you know, some little stuff like that. But anyway, vacuum advanced diaphragm swapped out, so we know it's good. I got to get to work. I'll get back with y'all as soon as I can work on this thing again. All right, so we got I've got everything in. I've got tons of fittings. I've got 25 feet of NICOP. It's not copper. When you see it, you're going to be like, you can't use copper. I'm not using copper. I don't like any of this, and we're going to have to run new lines all to the front wheels. I'm going to start at the back and work this way. That way I know I've got all new lines everywhere. But another issue I want to address is this little rat's nest of wires and this copper line that we ran the other night whenever we put in our oil gauge. By doing so, it negated the oil pressure switch that lights up the light on the dash. And call me anal retentive, but if I've got a light, I want it to work. So I've come up with a workaround, and I'll show you what we're going to do there. I want to go ahead and get that done, though, before we start, in case it's going to be in the way of any of this stuff. So I got a little bit to do here, and I'll show you what we're going to do. All right, here's what we came up with. I got a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch NPT thread, little pipe nipple, or T with a nipple, 1/4 inch on this side. And our factory oil sending switch went right here. Our oil pressure switch went right there. Threaded in just fine. Used a little thread tape on that, and we'll put this in, and we'll put the new pressure gauge connection into here. So Okay, let me get you guys in here. Here it is installed. I've got everything out of the way. Still not, I mean, we still got to work on this rat's nest of wires. But is it functional? Let's find out. We should have the oil light and, man, at the flies in here. Huh. We've had a hatch. But at any rate, yep, oil light's on. Okay. Let's see if we've got pressure on this gauge at all. Yes, he jumps right up to 40 pounds of pressure. We've got good oil pressure at idle. Let's see if it'll sit here and idle. We're not drifting anyway. All right, I believe that's a win, and I'm not going to be able to get much more done today. I've got to go to work, so this is where we're at. This is what we got done today. We'll start on brakes tomorrow if it's not raining. All right, don't have a whole lot of time today. We did get the oil sending unit workaround where now my oil gauge is working on the new oil gauge is working, and the oil light on the dash is working. And I told you I was going to paint that firewall. I went ahead and hit it with a coat of rusty red primer. We're going to probably hit that with some flat black tomorrow. I'm not really wanting it to be super shiny. That said, I've got semi-gloss black, and that may be what we end up. I don't know. We're going to hit it with something. I just clean it up because I'm going to be running the new brake lines on there, and I want them to kind of pop a little bit. So needed to get that done. It's nothing precise, but nothing on this car is going to be precise. So it is what it is. It's a good old coat of rusty red primer. So there we go. Be back tomorrow if it's not raining, good Lord willing. All right, we're going to get ready to put this master cylinder on. Today was supposed to be the day that we were finally going to start brakes, and you know, it's going to rain. So that's all right. I've got some editing I can do and some different things like that, but before the rain comes in here, we're going to try to go ahead and get this master cylinder bled and installed. That shouldn't be any major feat. If we can get to that point, I'll be satisfied with saying that's what we got done today. But let me get you in here and show you something I did yesterday off camera that I've been saying I was going to do. And anyway, I got it done, and let me show it to you. We got a little paint. Is what we did. We finally got a little paint on this firewall, and it's not perfect, but you know, it's better than that old chipped off looking mess that was on there. All I did was roughed it up, cleaned it up with a Scotch-Brite and a wire wheel as needed. I wiped it down with some lacquer thinner, hit it with some rusty red primer, and then hit it with a coat of black. There's a couple runs that I want to fix, and I'm going to show you a way that I fix runs on firewalls, and it works every time. And you can do it too. It's a really neat fix, and it's super easy. Doesn't even require any tools. So let me show you how I'm going to fix these runs. So this is a way to fix a run every time. What you do is you take a holly sticker and you go right over the top of it. And then if you've got more runs, you take an STP sticker and you go right beside it. And then if you're like me and you've got a whole lot of stickers, you could take one from the channel Cars and Cameras. Shout out to Ike and John. Ike saying it'll be fine, and I think that would be a real good one to put right there and cover up some runs because it'll be fine. That fixes a run 100%, no tools required. And I mean, I almost look forward to having runs when it's like this. STP, because you guys know I use STP. And there you go, runs fixed. I mean fixed. Well, we got the master cylinder in, and I've confirmed it. You need 15 fingers and 16 toes to get that in quickly. if you only have the standard 10 toes and 10 fingers, it's going to take you a second because you're fighting this support beam, you're working underneath it. But I mean, all in all, I would give that a 1 wrench out of 5. It's a pretty easy task. It's just, I'm a big guy and getting in those little tight spaces. I'm wanting to cry about something. I've got the T, you know, because you've got to feed the back line and then the 2 front lines. And so I've got it mounted right on the end of the master cylinder with the top little port blocked off. This is how it's supposed to be. These are manual brakes, obviously no booster. We might do a brake upgrade on this eventually. I don't know. We're not there right now. I can see half a dozen things that I'd like to do right now to this car. But again, I'm fighting the threat of rain. So this may be where we have to stop for right now. Well, it's raining, and that's going to pretty well kill off my day, with the exception of I'm not going to really work on the Falcon, but guys, I have got to clean shop. And so the rain may be a blessing in disguise for me. I don't do a lot of recording in here in the shop because the metal roof is loud when it's raining, and I just like working outside. So what we are going to do, though, is clean up because, I mean, let me tell you something. The bed of my Ranger is slapped. It's a disaster. It's just been being used as a workbench. And I've got, and, you know, I'll turn around here and show you, I've got a head that's part of this 5-liter that I'm building that I've got to get it put back together. So I'm not trying to switch gears here and go from the Falcon to the 5-liter, but it is raining. I need to get this head put back together. I need to get the shop clean. So we're going to get this head put back together. We're going to clean shop, get things a little bit more organized. It's, you know, it may be tomorrow before I can get back on the Falcon, but I'm not going to waste the day. If I've got time available to be doing something that needs to be done, we're going to get some things straightened up, maybe make a little bit more room in here. So we'll be back on the Falcon here in just a minute. I'll show you some footage of why I put this head together right quick. All right, we got all the brake lines, all the brake stuff. We're finally fixing to start putting in brake lines this morning. It's not raining, the sun's shining. It's a little cool, but we can get by with the jacket, and we're all right on that. So I picked up a couple extra sticks of brake line. I had bought a roll of the Nycop, and I don't know. I don't trust myself to know. Plus, the way I'm wanting to bend it and turn it and all that, I'm afraid I'm going to use more than what I had. So went to O'Reilly's and picked up a couple sticks. We're going to start at the back. I've got the car up on jack stands. As you can see, it's safe and secure. I don't, you know, I can run up to the side of it and run into it and it doesn't fall over. So the car's safe. I wouldn't get under it if it wasn't safe. So we're going to start at the back. We're going to work to the engine compartment. The other side of having it lifted up on the stands like that is, I don't know if it translates to the camera or not, but I'm tall. I'm 6'3", and staying humped over this car in that engine bay all day long, even though it may not be 10 or 15 minutes worth of content on here, sometimes that equals hours of me being bent over working on something. So it makes it a little easier on me. It puts it right up in my face. So that's what we're after. So we're going to start the brake lines. I'm be glad to get this. It's not that I'm looking forward to doing brake lines. It's that I'm looking forward to being done with brake lines. So I'm going to show you the flaring tool that I've got and what I'm using as we do this process. If you've never done brake lines, again, this is not a how-to. It's how I do it. If you see me do something that you wouldn't do, that's fine. You're more than welcome to work on your own vehicle the way you want to work on it. This is how I'm putting brake lines in the 62 Falcon. So we'll get set up and we'll get under the car and start taking the old brake line off, and we'll go from there. I mean, you couldn't even tell there was a nut there. This thing is filthy. Line broke off, but it really doesn't matter. We're going to be replacing this rubber line. Rubber lines, when they sit in here with brake fluid in them, they swell up and they'll close, and they'll prevent you from getting fluid back to your back brakes. So not only that, but why would we do a brake job and not, replace that? So I don't have them, and because I'm getting ready to leave on vacation for a few days, I'm probably going to order them. They're cheaper if I order them, but guys, look at the grease and mud buildup on this rear end. We are going to have to get back here. And as much as I hate to say it, we're going to have to get back here with a power washer and just get under this car and get down and dirty. We may need a U-joint. But at any rate, man, that's filthy. That's horrible. That's probably the worst I've ever seen. But I think we're going to go ahead and try to take this rubber line off while we're back here. All right, we got our first piece, and this is from the back up till towards the firewall. And I cut it, and we're going to make this piece, and we're going to put a union in. So let me make this piece. I'm going to make this piece out of that stuff that I bought from O'Reilly. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to bend this piece, and we're going to use this as a pattern. This is this is steel line that I got from O'Reilly's. We're going to use the original part, which, remember, it broke off, so I'm going to give a little bit of space there. And we're going to mark pretty well close to where the first bend needs to be. We're going to use this original one as the pattern. We've got our fitting on there. That's first and foremost. There is that first brake line. All right, we got that back line in that I just bent, and we're about to flare one of the NICOP lines. And this is the flaring tool I've got. And I'm going to tell you, I don't spring for a lot of specialty tools, but if you're going to be flaring any lines at all, I would very highly recommend one of these. If you're going to be doing old cars, you can get these off Amazon. The one you want to get, in my opinion, is this one. It's made by K-Tool. It's a fairly substantial tool, and I'm just telling you, it looks identical to the one that you can get on Eastwood. So I'm not saying it's the same product, and yes, this is likely made in China. But I'm still here to tell you this. I've made some flares just as examples and to familiarize myself with the tool, and I'm here to tell you this makes life so much easier. And you're getting the correct flare. It's done correctly. What you do is you put the little dies in, and it shows you what type of, like this is a 45-degree flare, and you put the dies in, you put the tube in, and you turn the dial to where it needs to be. I'm going to show you, but this is from K-Tools. It's part number KTL70081. All right, of course, I mean, one of the main objectives was to clean that rat's nest of brake line up, and of course, I think it cleaned up quite a bit better. It's not. I didn't want to go back factory. I wanted it to kind of have a mechanical look to it. And, the contrast of that black and that copper color on that NICOP line. So it comes around, it follows the firewall, and this is where it's going to get a little funny for you guys, because I wanted to add a little detail with this line, and I wanted to come in here. Of course, I've still got to hook this line up that goes to the front passenger wheel, but I'm waiting. I'm also getting some rubber grommets. Thing about doing a project, you never have everything you need at all the time, but once you finally get it done, you will have it done right. But anyway, I've got plenty of the 3/16 brake line holders in place. That line is rock solid. It's not going anywhere. I do have those two couplings. I know some people don't like couplings, but trust me, they're not going to leak. I mean, I'm the one driving the car, so I'm betting my life on it. But at any rate, that's quite a bit. I mean, it cleans it up a lot, and it doesn't look like a whole lot was done, but that's a full day's work. I tell you what, after being underneath this car, I've learned something. It is absolutely filthy under there, and we are going to have to get under it with a power washer and do some heavy duty cleaning. I need spring and warm temperatures to hurry up and get here so we can do that, because that's going to be a filthy, filthy job. So I've got the rubber lines that run from the wheel cylinders back to my new made lines ordered. They should be in when we get back from Memphis. I think when we get done with the brakes, the next step, we're going to put the floors in this car. And then I already can tell you after that, we're either going to do head gasket or we're going to do front end. I mean, the front end is shot. And I'm debating now on head gasket. I do have head gasket ordered. I've got water pump ordered. I've got the little temperature sender ordered. I've got quite a few parts ordered for this thing, but I am debating on pulling this motor out and either doing a quick rebuild on it or changing the rear seals and the timing chain. I don't know. We're gonna make a decision when we get back. But right now, today, I'm leaning toward pulling this motor out and doing a quick rebuild on it. I just think it needs it. So, hey, at any rate, I'm gonna shut it down for the day. Take my wife to eat dinner. Get ready to go to Memphis, and I'll be back either tomorrow if we do any work on it before we leave, or I'll show y'all footage from Memphis. Hey, we're going to end this day the same way I end every one of my days when I've been up here at the shop with a little Joe's hand cleaner, of course, using the green. I hadn't mentioned the giveaway during this video. If you watched the last video, you know we're doing a giveaway, and it's still going on. Same stuff I showed you that's involved or is included in the last video, and I'll go through it during this video and show you everything because I've actually added more to it. But as always, you know, Joe's hand cleaners, man, it's my go-to stuff. After a day of working on brakes, my hands are absolutely filthy, and we're getting ready to go eat, and I'm gonna go take a shower. But you know, just regular old soap don't get this grease off. You're gonna have to get something like Joe's hand scrub and really get after it. And you know, there's other products out there, but and I've used them, but I'm just here to tell you I'm a believer in Joe's hand scrub. It's made right here in the United States, right over here in Oklahoma, and you know, good product, man. I mean, it'll take, and it just breaks that grease off your hands. I've used it when I'm painting, and of course I'm not an advocate of getting paint all over your hands, but it breaks it down too. So good stuff, you know, and you can win some right here on my channel. You follow the steps that I put in place to be entered in the drawing, and of all the stuff that you are going to win, what will be included absolutely is Joe's hand cleaner. And this is the scrub, and I'm getting to where I like the scrub. I mean, they both smell the same, and I love the smell of this stuff. But the red label is the all-purpose, and the green is the hand scrub. It's got like grit in it, a little bit of stuff to really get it off your hands. And this stuff, I'm fastly becoming a fan of the green label stuff. So you know, when you're at O'Reilly's or wherever you shop at, grab you a bottle of Joe's hand cleaner, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Well, we are back. Good morning. I tell you, the sun's shining. I can see clearly now because the sun is shining, and it's going to be a bright sunshiny day. I couldn't help it. Hey, we're going to get underneath the Falcon. We've got 2 lines to make that go from the T-union on top of the rear end over to each wheel cylinder. We're going to make those lines, make some connections on them. I got 1 rubber hose in. I've got Rock Auto sending me 2 more. Going to be in probably sometime next week for the fronts. So we're not going to probably get to a point where we're bleeding brakes, but I wanted to get these lines, you know, done so that part's done. We're going to do that. May get under the car with the power washer, especially on the back end. You know, there's 50 years of grease and mud and everything else on that rear end, and I can't deal with that. I want to get it cleaned to where that part is clean and done and taken care of. So at any rate, let's get started. Well, I guess if you do anything enough, you end up, you know, dropping the ball somewhere. During this video, I inadvertently turned the audio off on a lot of the footage. Luckily, I had 99% of the video shot, but as I was making some of the connections for the brake lines and things, I turned my audio off. So I'm going to have to wing it in editing. But one thing I can't wing is the details of the giveaway and what you have to do to qualify to win. And you know, I hope it's generating some interest, and I hope it's something that you're wanting to participate in, because I've actually added to the video again to the giveaway box again this week, and added even more things to it, so it's gotten even bigger. And that's what I'm going to start with, is to show you the things that I've added. And of course, you know, last week I alluded to the fact that I use a lot of STP products. You know, there are oil treatments in the box, and we'll be showing you that in a minute, the fuel treatments in the box. But, you know, they also carry another line of cleaners, and, you know, son of a gun towels, the little wipes, and son of a gun tire cleaner. And this is the natural shine. This is the sheen that I use when I use this on tires. But here's a little pro tip that you may not know, that a lot of detailers use it, and I picked it up from somebody, is the natural tire shine. If you've got an engine that's got a lot of the plastic covers on there, you can give it a squirt with the natural, and just let it sit, and it really cleans up an engine really good, you know, all the plastic parts and whatnot. So in the giveaway, a thing of son of the gun towelettes, STP's got a picture of Richard Petty right there on it with his autograph. And I'll say it again, if it's good enough for Richard Petty, it's good enough for me. And a can of the STP tire cleaner, or tire shine, whatever you want to call it. And again, it's the natural finish. So that's new to the box this week. This one's one of my favorites. You'll see me using it a lot, and a lot of people don't use this. And you may kind of turn an eye at this, but hey, you're getting it free in a giveaway. So Dollar General lubricant, man, I use this stuff. I have had as good a luck with this as I do with anything, PB Blast or whatever else. It works as a good penetrating oil, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on Dollar General lubricant, so I'm including it in the giveaway. Again, going back to STP, you know, we already have the one fuel treatment in the box, but I'm going to throw in a 2-pack, so you'll be getting a total of 3 STP fuel treatments. This stuff is good, man. It keeps your injectors clean. It keeps your entire fuel system. It just needs stuff like this. It keeps it from getting gummed up. Adding a few more little trees to the mix here. The scent right now on this one is Sunset Beach, and these again are 3-packs. So Sunset Beach, cinnamon apple, and leather. So that's what we've added this week to the giveaway box. But now I want to show you, for those of you that maybe missed the first video, we'll continue on. These items are also in the box. You know, Little Trees, Vanilla Aroma, Little Trees Coconut, Little Trees Watermelon, Little Trees Peachy Peach, Little Trees New Car Scent, and my favorite, Blackberry Clove. So that's, right now you got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 24 cleaners. If you use 2 a month, that's a year's supply of Little Trees right there, and they smell good. All right. Also in the box from last week, Sprayway glass cleaner wipes. I told you last week, Sprayway makes some really good products. These wipes are handy to keep in your glove box or your console, or whatever, and for cleaning your windshield. And I mean, I use them for more than that. I mean, I use them for cleaning just in general on the interior of the car. Another little deal here, but nothing big. Some hose clamps from O'Reilly's. Let's see, got your other STP oil treatment. So again, you're getting a total of 3 STP oil treatments. Not 1, but 2 STP fuel oil treatments. I use this at every oil change. Highly recommend it. It's good stuff, especially if you're running an engine with a flat tappet cam. This STP oil treatment has got, and it says right there on the label, It contains zinc anti-wear agent ZDDP. You need zinc. We don't have lead in our fuel any longer, and I hadn't had it in years. Most of you, a lot of you, it'll be your entire lifetime you haven't seen it. And you need that on the old flat tappet cams. Gunk engine degreaser. I didn't get any audio, but you're not going to need any audio for the part of the video you'll see today where I've washed the underside of the car. I'm not going to lie, I almost pulled these two cans out and used them, but we had enough. I think we just used O'Reilly's foamy cleaner on it, and we used an entire bottle of Superclean underneath there, and it really cleaned. I mean, that was some caked on grease and mud underneath that car. Getting a 25 pack of shop towels. Who doesn't need shop towels? You know, check your oil. Like I say, put it in your back pocket and act like you're a mechanic. We talked about Superclean. This is a staple around my shop. I use it to clean everything. It's got some bite to it now. It really digs in, and it'll help get the old greasy, grimy mess off. I use it to clean my wheels. You get a lot of brake dust and stuff on your wheels. Superclean. It's a very good product. And, you know, again, all of this stuff is coming from me. I'm not sponsored by any of these folks. Nobody has sent me this. They're not paying me. These are items that I use, and I'm going to pass it on to you in our giveaway. Joe's hand cleaner, and if you watch last video or this video, you know I'm a big proponent of Joe's hand cleaner. This red is the all-purpose, and the green is the scrubber, hand scrubber. And I don't want to speak for Joe's, but you know what I mean by scrubber. It's got like little bits of maybe pumice or something's in there, but it really will get the grime and grit off your hands. I've used the all-purpose for years. Started using the scrubber here a while back, but Joe's is a really good product. I really believe in Joe's hand cleaner, and I believe in it so much I want you to have some. Anytime I get a giveaway, I can guarantee you Joe's is going to be included in it. And again, it's coming from me. It's not coming from anybody. Nobody's paid me to say any of this. This is just good products that I use. So I think that's it for now. That's in the giveaway box. Oh, wait, no. There is one other thing. In addition to this, and in addition to anything else I add to the giveaway, because on this giveaway box, we've got another week before we draw a name, and I will add more products to it. I can guarantee that. And there will be a $50 gift card from O'Reilly's included. So I initially said I wanted each giveaway box to have about $100 value. I can guarantee you we're well over $100 on this if you include the $50 gift card in there. So pretty neat little giveaway package. That's why I say if it were me, this is something I would like to win, because this is something I could use. Even if you're not necessarily a mechanic, a lot of these things are, you know, the little trees anybody could use. Even if you didn't have a car, you could hang them up in your office or your house, you know. So the Joe's hand cleaner, same kind of deal. I mean, all this stuff you could use, and if you don't, you'll know somebody you can give it away to and re-gift it, so to speak. So how do you get signed up, or how do you become eligible to win this? Well, it's real simple. And if you watch last week's video, it's going to be basically the same type of deal. You know, last week I said go and to Restoration. Go check out Rev's channel. Brother David does a real good channel. And I asked you to leave a comment and let me know that you'd left a comment, subscribe to his channel, and subscribe to my channel, and you'd be in the drawing. You'd have your name in the hat. So we're going to do something very similar again today. And this week, what I'm going to ask you to do is go to a channel who's actually a acquaintance, a good friend of mine that I work with in my day-to-day life. His channel is called Automotive Legends, and I want you to go check out Automotive Legends. What you're going to do when you get there is you're going to subscribe to Automotive Legends, his channel. You're going to leave a comment at his most recent video saying, "Hey, Automotive Legends." Well, let's just have it say this: "Hi, Automotive Legends, from Mark at the channel One Car Garage." And you know, leave that, and then come back to my channel and leave a comment saying I left a message at Automotive Legends. And you could comment anything else you want as well, but let me know that you've left a comment at Automotive Legends, and your name will be in the hat. Now, again, you've got to subscribe to my channel. That's, if you're not a subscriber, you're automatically out. So you have to subscribe to my channel, go to Automotive Legends and leave a comment, subscribe to his channel, and come back to my channel and leave a comment. So for 2 subscriptions, which are free, and 2 comments, which are free, and doesn't take you, all of that told, wouldn't take you any longer than 5-10 minutes at the most. But now we'd hope that you'd stop and watch an Automotive Legends video and, you know, see what it's all about. It's a really neat channel. What he's doing is he's giving the history or the lineage of certain vehicles, and he's just kind of gotten that channel going, and I'd like for you to go check him out. As great people, great people. Now, he also has another channel, but now I'm not asking you to go there to leave the comment, but I would like you to go check it out. It's called Cabin on the Hill, and they do some stuff that's a little different. It's not car stuff. It's power washing. They painted some people's house, and this is all for volunteer. I mean, they don't charge to do this stuff. They do this to create content. They do this to help people out that are in need, and I mean, it's just a real good channel. And so, you know, Automotive Legends, Cabin on the Hill. Now, their son, the creator of Cabin on the Hill and the creator of Automotive Legends, is the same person, and his son has a channel as well. Actually has 2. One is called The Boring Channel, and the other is called Lawn Care Juggernaut. And so if you get an opportunity, go check out those channels. They're real neat as well. What Lawn Care Juggernaut does is he goes all across the nation. Now, he is a very large YouTube channel, and he's been wildly successful going around. He finds overgrown properties that are in need of maintenance, that are needing the grass cut, or the house needs power washing, or, I mean, there's just a huge, vast selection of things that he does. Mainly he's mowing and weed eating and trimming up and cleaning up the property, but he doesn't charge anything for this. He does it again for content, and he's got a huge subscription base. A lot of people are watching him. So Lawn Care Juggernaut. But for this video, to be eligible for the giveaway, which you just saw everything that we're giving away, Automotive Legends, leave a comment, subscribe, come back to One Car Garage, leave a comment letting me know that you did that, and make sure you're a subscriber, and your name will go in the hat. Now, if you subscribed to One Car Garage last week and got your name in the hat by going to Restoration and subscribing, then this week, obviously, you won't subscribe to me. You just got one less step. You'll still go to Automotive Legends, leave a comment and a subscription, and then come back and leave me a comment here on One Car Garage. And that's all you have to do if you are already a subscriber. What I'm getting at is you have got to be a subscriber to be in the drawing. So finally, just want to reiterate, this has got to be for the lower 48 only. I can't ship any of this stuff international. I mean, we can't do that. The other thing is you have got to sign up through YouTube. Now, I know because I'm a new channel and a lot of you are picking me up off of social media, off of Facebook and social media, and you may know me. You can't sign up by going, hey, Mark, sign me up for your drug. No, it doesn't work. You're going to have to go through the steps, and I don't care if we're blood kin. You've still got to sign up, although blood kin, you're automatically out. I'm not giving it to any of my kinfolk, but you've got to sign up through YouTube. You can't do it through social media. You can't do it through Facebook. You can't see me on the street and say, hey, sign me up. No, you've got to go subscribe. You got to do the comments and all that. I'm not asking much. 2 comments and 2 subscriptions, and your name's in the hat for well over $100 worth of freebies, you know. So get signed up today. Share my videos with a friend if you get an opportunity. I would very much appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the content thus far. I mean, I know there's people that do things different ways or maybe different styles. There's no doubt there's lots of better mechanics out there than me. I'm just an old hack, ham-handed shade tree guy at best, you know, but I enjoy doing this. It's my hobby. So glad to have you today. We smoked some good meat. At the first video, we smoked some ribs, and we did some boneless, skinless chicken thighs. They were real good. Did some steaks tonight. Lost audio on that. I'll show you some pictures nonetheless. They were from Omaha steaks. My brother had sent those to me for Christmas, and I've been waiting for a pretty day to do them, and today was that pretty day. So thanks, brother. I appreciate it. They were good. So at any rate, we sure are glad to have you here at One Car Garage. We'll have you another video out next week. We're trying to get one a week out right now, and it takes about, from what I'm seeing, it takes somewhere between 8 to 14 hours of video footage to put out. I'm trying to stay under an hour. I'm trying to shoot for 30 to 45 minutes at the most, because I really don't think many people have got an hour to sit around and watch me work on a car. So for right now, 30 to 45 minutes is what we're shooting for. But get signed up for the giveaway. We sure appreciate having you here. God bless you. Y'all have a wonderful day.